Hello, welcome. This is episode 51 of So Well Spoken. I'm Moris. With me is Mike.
What's up?
And Angelus.
Yo.
So we've been on another one of our sabbaticals. So I just wanted all of us to just catch up, see what's going on, what you guys been up to lately, basically.
Me personally, I've just been working. My brother came to the States finally, so my niece will be here in June, which is pretty lit. Applying for different jobs, got my programming portfolio updated. Went to a hackathon. I was the only black person in 8-mile radius, so that was something. Yeah, it's really been about it.
That was exhilarating.
I take it you were on an adventure then?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man, I'm back with it, man. I'm getting on it, and then I got 2,000 repairs.
Oh yeah, you just got your car, right?
Yeah. So basically, what was it about 2 weeks ago, around a Saturday or whatever, I had to I said, yo, mom, let's just go out, let's go look for a car. I'm tired of this. I got money in my pocket, it's burning. Let's go find a car. And I was thinking to myself, because I had to work later that day. I'm like, you know what? If I find a car, I do not care if I'm late, as long as I'm whipping again, I'm good. So we found a car. It's a 2007 Honda Civic. Desperately needs a paint job. And that's the first thing I noticed. And I noticed the AC was kind of flat, and I was like, And then so I went to the Honda dealership a few days later and tried to get that checked out. And there's a host of issues, leakage. It just needed maintenance. Whoever had the car before I did wasn't really taking good care of it, pretty much. So it needs some love, and I'm gonna give it some love in the form of $2,000 worth of stuff to do, and hopefully after that I can just not just chill, because I know how cars are, but just have a better ease of mind. But I'm glad to be back driving again, man. Public transit in Atlanta is garbage. Literally, I literally got left by a bus. I'm because the bus either goes in front of my house or goes down the street, further down the street, and I catch it down there. And both of the bus stops right by each other. It depends on what time. And literally the bus saw me. I'm like, yo, when I was trying to run to the other bus stop, and he left my ass. So damn. I'm like, I can't do this shit. I cannot. And then
bus drivers can be ruthless like that.
Yeah, you could have just stopped. I'm waving my hand. He was literally at a stop sign. I'm like, yo, let me get over here real quick. I'm like, oh, okay. I was livid, man. He made me late for work that day too. And then and doing Lyft and Uber, while it's cool to just do when you're going out with some friends or whatever, you don't feel like driving or on occasion, but doing that to get to work every day that'll kill you. That'll kill you about as much as getting a car. If you're doing it every day, going back and forth, and after a certain point, I was tired of riding the bus so much that I would rather, pay $15 to get home or something like that, Mm. So it just gets kind of just gets irritating. So I don't mind having a car. I'm concerned about how long it's going to take me to get all this stuff fixed. It shouldn't take me too long if I just spend money wisely or whatever. But knowing how I am, it's going to take a minute. But hopefully I can just get it done. But I'm happy. I'm not really too upset about it. I was literally jamming in traffic this morning, just listening to my music again. That was one of the few things I love about driving, is just sitting in the car listening to your music and just letting the worries of the world kind of just wear away while I'm sitting in Atlanta traffic is the most peaceful thing to me in the world. I have no idea how it is, but it just is. So that's been about. Oh, and then I went to go see Black Panther again too. For a day or two after I got the car.
Expensive, exciting times for Mike.
Yeah, there we go. Hey yo, back on my bullshit. 2018 has commenced.
He almost said 2017, so it got postponed until the car purchase.
It really did. It got because I lost the car. My last car around late 2016. Yeah, so back on bullshit. 2017, 18. Damn. 2018. Yeah, so ready to start making moves as soon as I get this car stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much been me. What about you, Moris, man? What you been up to, man?
I have not been up to anything. The only major change in my life that's been happening recently is I've cut out most animal protein for my diet. Like, I'm not going full vegetarian. It's like 90% pretty much right now.
And why the switch in diet?
Just because processed meat's so terrible for you. Mostly. Like, I always understood the moral arguments behind vegetarianism and veganism. And I mostly agreed with the moral stances they had. It's just, I mean, have you had bacon, dog?
Almost every morning.
Damn.
That's a lot of fucking bacon.
That is, Jesus.
But I just got to the point where it just doesn't make sense. Like, I was consuming so much animal protein for like no reason, really.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, me personally, I don't eat pork, and I try to limit how much meat I intake. But a lot of people, you know, like Mike just said, he eats, you know, bacon every day, which to me is just absolutely wild. But I try to limit.
I'm over exaggerating. I'm over exaggerating. Usually, if I have I don't have to leave early in the morning, I either make bacon or sausage, depending on what I've started doing with my breakfast is just adding more vegetables to it. Like, instead of just plain scrambled eggs or whatever, I have spinach in it or some type of other vegetables, or an omelet with onions and stuff like that in it, just to kind of just put some variance to my breakfast diet, because I realize I have been eating way too much junk in general. Be healthy.
Yeah, man, that's what I try to leave. And it's it kind of sucks for me because eating, you know, quote unquote really healthy is expensive. And when you add on top of that, I have a super fast metabolism, so I always need to eat. You know,
yeah, same.
That shit is annoying. I'll be like, yo, when is this shit gonna slow the fuck down? And then I look at the men on my mom's side, and it's just okay, basically, it's never going to stop. Cool. So I'm just gonna set aside a good 300.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm depressed. I'm like, dog, this is a lot of money I'll be spending for the rest of my life.
No, I mean I know I've seen my family's metabolism just stop.
Oh damn, rip.
The rip, yeah. I'm just yo, I don't know if I'm ready for it. I like being my skinny self, man.
Yeah,
I've grown to love it. So I mean, I don't know. I ain't.
Yeah, it's the complete opposite on my side for the men. That shit it never slows down. And apparently in your 50s it might speed up a little bit. And I was like, I can't, nah, fam. Constant hunger. It's a shot I can get to slow it down or something. Might need to get on that.
All right, now that we've caught up with what we've been up to, let's talk about Six Brown Chicks, which is a website and a blog. They also have a Twitter account. It's Six Brown Chicks, the number 6 spelled out. And I don't know. Do you guys know how frequently they do this advice thing?
Every Wednesday.
Is it every Wednesday?
I had no idea. I just no. I'll just see the posts randomly every week or whatever, talking about some wild shit.
It's every Wednesday. Basically, what they do is people email them anonymously things that are happening in their life and they want advice for, and then every Wednesday they post it. It's pretty much the reason why I follow them, because that shit be so messy.
So let's go over this Wednesday's most recent advice. The very first one, real or fake, these are all fantastic. If this is real, amazing. If it's fake, please get into writing. The very first one is, we met at a Greek step show. We clicked. I'm a dentist. He's a lawyer, owns real estate, and didn't have kids. We married. 3 months later, I discover he pledged Q but never graduated. Not a lawyer, no real estate, 4 kids, 2 baby mamas, likes to step. Advice.
Shit. That one always cracked me up because it's this man is basically a 180 of everything he said he was.
I'm mad she got so many numbers in here, man. A mathematician would probably figure out this shit. It's 3 months later, 4 kids, 2 baby mamas. It's wild. How did you not know all this?
I mean, dude, sir, we are really good at lying, man. We can put on whole fronts and personalities as long as we need to.
True, but still, all of that, you had the fact that you're not a lawyer.
The lawyer part is kind of weird because it's what do you do for a job to generate income comparable to a lawyer? You know what I mean?
And how do you get married to somebody and not know their income in general? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You would know their real estate, and she says she learned this 3 months in. Not when she got married, with 3 months in.
Yeah, you've never gone to any of his properties. You've never asked to go to his properties. I'd be like, yo, let's go like chill at one of your homes. Like, I sound terrible saying this, but it's really hard to feel terrible because it's like you didn't do any due diligence as a person, like not even as a woman, but just as a person going into marriage to look into your spouse, your potential spouse, what's going on with them. You took them at their word. And I would implore any man or woman, like when you're going to get married to somebody, you can no longer take them at the word the same way you did when you were dating, like at this point, this is a future that you're building upon together. So you need to look into the things that they've said. Like that's when all the things come out of the closet. You've got this man who just said he owns property in several different places. That should have been very easy to call him up on, like, yo, let's go look at your properties, or hey, let's go out together and like crash on one of your places, or just flat out ask him really. And then the income one I can kind of understand because it's like,
yeah,
if you're not married, you're not going to be privy to somebody's income on that level. So that one, I mean, yeah, when you get married, that's something you find out then and there. And I imagine that's got to suck because like chances are probably high she's here making bank, and this dude, in reality, actually pulls in like $35K.
He over there probably like flipping gift cards and shit. He's making big money,
right? So I mean, yeah, like those kind of situations, they suck. And it's like, as I said earlier, like we've gotten very creative at our ability to lie and finesse and put on whole new personalities in order to not even like to basically con women into falling for them, and then once they're in too deep, you switch it up like Ginobili, and it's like, boom, by the way, that's not the real me, this is. And it's like, damn, it's too late now.
Yeah, a lot of these don't paint the men in these stories in very good light.
Of course not.
I mean, I'm never really going to, like, I've only seen a handful of them where like, because sometimes men do send in their questions, things like that. And the ones that guys send in are equally hilarious. And Six Brown Chicks is just a really fucking great Twitter feed to follow if you want laughs and to know that whatever relationship you're in is probably better than what a lot of these people are going through.
And the third question on this Wednesday's entry. My mother saved $20,000 for me to go to college. I dabbled in drugs, dropped out of high school, but later got a job and earned my GED. I got into trucking school and asked my mom for the money to enroll. My mom said money never existed, just wanted you to aim higher. Advice. My advice is, you can't get upset with your mother about that. It was something to motivate you. And I mean, a lot of people, especially like people of color in general, but in particular African Americans, like for a lot of us, we're like first generation to be going to college or second generation to be going to college. You know what I mean? And it's not like many of us, a lot of us are coming from, wealth, and our parents can drop 20 G's on our college education like that. So, I mean, it's hard for me to feel bad for somebody for their parents not actually having that money. You know what I mean? My mom didn't have any money for me to go to college. I had to take out loans my damn self. And it's like, that's the norm for many people. And the fact that she presented it that way, it's hard for me to get mad because she did it as a motivating factor for you to want to go to school. And one thing about parents, especially, Black parents, is that had that person probably stayed straight and narrow and gone to college, that mom probably would have found some way to get that 20 G's for her child. You know what I mean? Like parents are amazing at doing that. Like a lot of self-sacrifice and doing whatever it takes to get what is needed for their child to be successful, to set them up for success. So, I mean, reading about like listening to her whole, timeline of her life. And she's like, oh, she did drugs and X, Y, and Z and then got in trucking school. Might be a guy. I don't know, man or woman. It's like, I mean, you turned yourself around. You can't really demand money from your mom for doing the bare minimum. My advice would be don't go to trucking school.
That too, yeah. Like trucking schools are a scam.
And then the job itself is just murder.
Yeah. I think there was a study that people who go to trucking school develop skin cancer at a faster rate than other people, or more likely to develop skin cancer because of how much they're exposed to the sun when they're driving their trucks. So yeah, fuck that.
And they get their hips all fucked up from sitting down all day.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also an alternative. You just spent that money.
That too, yeah. I mean, if your mom gave you that money, given the lifestyle that you had led up to that point, you wouldn't have used it for college anyway. Like, basically been the exact same end result you are in your current situation.
I like how we get like mad serious about these and we're like laughing at It's like, yeah, but no, for real, you should check into his background. Oh no, yeah, you shouldn't have did drugs and you should go to school. Like damn, dude, like, it's supposed to be funny. Like, oh man, what's another good one? It's a lot of them. I forgot how many there were. It's 10 of them.
Yeah, each week they drop 10.
Dang. Oh, I love this one. Question 8. I cheated. My ex made a nasty back page ads with my pics. I didn't have proof that he did it, so I got calls and offers. I needed the money. I set up a date and got arrested for prostitution. Ex billed me out and asked to reunite. I'd rather earn that bag. I mean, hey, look, he put you on the path to greatness, I guess. He or she, so I mean, hey.
Love makes you do some really stupid ass things, is all I can say. Like, your man's made a back page and you agreed to that shit. That's love right there.
I think he did it like to embarrass her or something like that. Him or her or whatever. So as a shaming type thing. But she just went along with it.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm bothered. Like, you went along with it. Like, yo, fam, please respect yourself. Like, this is no slander against sex workers, but clearly that's not your profession that you wanted to be in, and you went anyway. Like,
I don't know. I think she found her destiny right there, man. She's like,
I went for a payday predatory loan. It would have been basically the same thing. Now you got a rep on your sheet. Like,
she want the bag. I work at a rundown hotel. I see a lot of people I probably shouldn't.
Oh, shit.
When my sister's husband came in with this dirty teen boy, I was 2 through. He saw me and got a room for a teen, said to get him off the streets. Boy said to him, "You leaving?" What the F to do? Like, what? Like, how do y'all people get in these situations? Like, how you work at a rundown motel for one? I mean, I know you gotta be struggling. We doing that, 'cause that's sketch central right there. Anything can happen.
Minimum wage is minimum wage, man.
No.
When you need money, go where you can get it, man. If you lived in a better country, you wouldn't get worried about getting shot. So there's that. But I'd probably say the first thing I would do is probably call the cops. Like,
call the police? Yeah. I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah, that would have been the immediate in their face to them, like, okay, word, let me get you your room. Let me go call, let them know that you're coming up there to keep it clean. I'd have been on the phone with 911 that moment. Like, hi, there's a kid diddler in my face. And this is the room that he will be staying in.
Wow, man. A lot of these have like real weird familial angles too. I'm just like, y'all families ain't shit, man. Like, I ain't legit. Like, I'm concerned for a lot of you guys' families and upbringing.
The 10th one is my favorite one. Lived with my girl for 2 years. She got promoted at this jerk chicken spot. So me and my boys placed a $50 order. She asked me to pay for it in front of my boys. I jumped the counter, took the food, and bounced. Guess who got arrested? Me. She won't apologize. Help. # no loyalty.
That Chris Brown quick? Oh, man. You just ain't shit, dog.
Yeah, basically.
That's something up. Like, how you gonna completely take advantage of your girlfriend's job? Like, I get, like, hey, yo, let me get a discount or something because, she works there. All right, cool, whatever. That's typical. But you jumped over the counter for $50 worth of food and got arrested for it? Dang. I mean, she don't deserve to forgive you, dog. Like, you could have messed up her. She probably could have got fired,
Yeah. So,
hey, she just got promoted too?
But she won't apologize.
I mean,
okay.
Shit, she don't need to.
Why? At this point,
you should be apologizing to her.
Exactly.
Probably embarrass the shit out of her.
I mean, he said no loyalty. Like he expect her like I understand, babe, why you jumped over and stole some food. Like, no. kind of situation y'all got going on? You think that can happen? Y'all lived together for 2 years and she had noticed this deviant behavior, man.
All right, let's transition from some potentially fake fuckery to some 100% real, actually happening.
Real life fuckery.
Let's talk about some Trump fuckery. There's so much. There's still so much. Like, I had to cut so much out of this for time's sake, but I wanted us to talk about Space Force. This is my favorite Trump story of the past couple of weeks.
Shit.
Donald Trump had a rally, and he said...
I thought like a joke post.
No. He said to I believe it was the Army and the Navy were in attendance, and he said, we should have a new force called the Space Force. It's like the Army and the Navy, but for space, because we're spending a lot of money on space. That was the president who said that.
The Shah president?
you know all those like parodies of George Bush that they made back in the day, saying some stuff like that?
It's real, man. It's been personified.
It's real.
It's an actual person now, and he's the leader of America. Shit is wild. And like the crazy thing is like if in some magical fucking dimension this shit actually happened, the military budget would balloon like a motherfucker, yo. It's already nearing like 700 billion with the new force for space. We'll be like $1 trillion plus a year that we spend on military. That would be wild as hell. Like, we already spend over 50% of our discretionary budget on military affairs. Like, dog. At that point, the government is basically, its sole function is just to give money to the military. That shit is scary as hell to me in so many ways. And what I'm scared about is that you're going to start seeing like GOP politicians and reps start fucking echoing this shit like in the coming months. And you're going to see like Democrats like, oh yeah, this is not such a bad idea. This gives more money to NASA. Like, oh fuck, here it goes. And this is how we normalize shit right here.
You don't want a Space Force?
Fuck no. Because
oh no,
see here, Mike's already doing it.
Look, if it gets his lightsabers and blasters, maybe why not? Somebody develops a force and we got real Jedi niggas and then we good. I guess.
Okay.
All right, we got Angelus on board.
No, definitely not. I was just going to point out the scientific impossibilities with your statements, but I was like, you know what?
Look, but when the military budget go ballooning or whatever, they gotta discover that now. Like, they don't want, nothing's holding them back anymore. That was holding back NASA, or whatever, because they weren't getting proper funding. But with the military getting NASA's supposed funding, we can discover this shit, man. We can do more. Neil deGrasse Tyson would agree with me.
Are you finished? Are you done?
Maybe.
I'm just saying, you gotta create a few things that are not possible. But I mean, hey, as long as you had a dream, Mike, that's all that matters, man.
I mean, we all got a dream, man.
Yeah.
Do you not like Starship Troopers, Angelus, or something?
No, I like all of that, but they're fantasy for a reason. It's called sci-fi. It's fiction for a reason. Like, we're not going to get lightsabers, yo. We're not.
Reality is stranger than fiction.
We're not getting lightsabers. You need to make hard light a possibility, and then you got to be able to stop light at a certain point.
I'm going to join the Space Marines, and that's going to be the end of this podcast.
I hate all of y'all.
We're going to be Halo for real now.
Me and Mike in space, protecting your freedom.
Yeah, while everybody in America's like starving and shit because they literally cut all of education and social
and
welfare
all the money
programs
to get us up there.
Yo, we can have Gundams, dog. I just thought about that. Have colonies? Let's go. It's 2018, man. I want some future shit, man. I'm tired of this like basic stuff. These small gains of technology that we've gained in like the past 8 years, it's starting to slow down to a slight crawl. As long as Elon Musk ain't like the main villain or something like that.
He definitely is.
I mean, look how long it's taken the military to develop the F-22 fighter jet, fam. You really think that you're gonna have a Gundam in the next 3 years? Try 30, fam.
I don't know, man. As long as I get my mobile suit, I'm good, man.
We won't know until we fund the Space Force.
Oh my God, this is the most Republican.
We gotta fund the Space Force, man. You
don't know until you try.
There you go.
I'm willing to dry this country of all of its resources for Space Force.
Gas is gonna be like what, $50 a gallon just to do all the stuff, and yeah, legit. I'm ready for it. I mean, no, that's stupid. No, I wouldn't.
No, it's completely stupid. But
this is good.
Now Mike's backtracking. Make sure you get him on. You can get it on audio that Mike was for this.
I mean, you know, if it was done by, if it was like honestly, like not in a Trumpish way, but like in a general, like we need to just advance our, like, you know, space travel and stuff like that. Like I would be definitely on board with it. I do think that, you know, on some Star Trek shit, it is the final frontier. So it's like, it would be dope to kind of just like do some more space shit. I like I like cosmic stuff, so I'm into that. But at the same time, like, Trump is just trying to just like Trump is just being Trump right here. It's like, alright, bro.
I think Elon Musk today said that the passengers on his voyage to Mars will most likely die.
Yeah, he did say that. He said that because there will be no real way to get them back from Mars to Earth, so it's a one-way trip.
They got to be like the Martian, huh? Do that shit. Mm.
I mean, that's like one of the goals of his 3-stage rocket that's reusable, is that when it gets there, it can launch back. But fuel is the main issue.
Isn't it always though?
Yeah.
Every time, like that's what holds most of space travel and stuff back, is fuel and like the logistics of getting to and then back. So, I mean, because have we ever gotten any of those rovers back from Mars or whatever? Yeah, that's what I figured. So I'm like, yeah. It's a dangerous thing, man, and the fact that we're so preoccupied with whatever shit we got going on here is like, I have no hope for in my lifetime to see any like amazing gains in space anymore. Like we missed out on the moon landing. I bet that was dope, you know. And closest thing we got is just like landing rovers on Mars and ice on Mars and stuff like that, you know. And that's about it. It's like, okay, that's neat, I guess. So I would love for there'd be more, you know, interstellar type, you know, gains. But I just feel like, especially under this presidency, it's just going to be used for like stupid shit like Trump talking about a space force. It's like a damn Power Ranger group. Like, come on, dog. like, nah, man, stop. I wonder how the officials sitting there were like taking that too. But they're like, what the fuck? What?
He's talking about Space Force again.
Kind of like, there he goes. He talks about that every morning at 5 when he wakes up.
Calls me every morning.
Let's talk about the Space Force today.
got any of those gains in that Space Force, man? Like, no, nigga.
Trump's like, I sent you some drawings of some uniforms I thought of. Let me know how you feel about these. Yeah, y'all president wild as fuck.
And then if that wasn't enough, Mike's president also fired Rex Tillerson.
Dang, my president? You mean my coworker's president? That's another story for them. But yeah, nah, man. I saw that this morning. I was like, because you know, like in shopping, like retail and stuff, they had like TVs up sometime. So I was just watching that, and I was just looking at like, I would say looking at his like explanation for why he did it, and I was just like, okay, so he didn't agree with you on some stuff, so you fired him. Okay, like I'm just like sitting here just like, that's that's the best of your life. And then you're gonna take the CIA director and make him your Secretary of State because you align on like that. Having a CIA director as a Secretary of State is kind of scary. Like I thought about the implications while I was at work. I'm like, this dude knows everybody's secrets pretty much, and he can use it as leverage if he wanted to. Like, that is like stupid scary.
There was rumor that Rex Tillerson didn't find out about it until the president tweeted about it.
Rumors? That's what actually happened. That's how they reported that he didn't find out until the tweet that morning. I'm like, dang,
it's wild. I mean, like, Rex Tillerson's like literally the fourth most powerful person in America, and he finds out that he's been fired via fucking Twitter while he's on a jet on his way to Africa.
Like, and his aide said that Rex was adamant about staying in his position as well.
Yeah. Bro, the turnover rate for Trump administration is just fucking wild.
I was like literally talking to my coworker about that. Like we actually had like a legit discussion about Trump today, and I was just sitting here just like, dude, he's one of those like guys. He's like an older dude. He's like on that. I mean, Trump giving folks jobs, shit. And I'm like, okay, yeah, he's giving black men in certain positions jobs or whatever that only really concerns just them. You know, not really helping out the whole, just those few people. That was my point I was trying to push. But he was like on that shit the entire time, and I was like, and I brought up the fact that he's firing so many people, and I said, well, you know, Obama fired people too. I'm like,
I mean, that's such a stupid ass whataboutism, considering the fact that Obama's first year.
I gave him that look. I'm like, bro, no, why are you doing this?
I mean, especially considering the fact that in Obama's first year, only 9 people left from his administration versus Trump, who's at 31. It's not really a comparison.
It's not. The turnover rate is ridiculous. In the past it's barely been a year. It's been a year and what, a few months?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you've already fired like a huge portion of the people you pretty much came in with, and a portion of people that were already there in their positions and stuff like that. Like, come on, dude.
It's because he expects complete and utter loyalty. Like, if you disagree with him in any capacity, no matter how small it is, he's gonna let you go.
Yeah. So
that wasn't the extent of his firings recently either. Hope Hicks got fired.
Yeah.
Or resigned, however. They stated that. And then Trump's personal assistant or his aide or something like that got felony charges or something like that.
All I read on that was that he got fired for security related issues. I had never read what exactly they were. And then what's also wild is that the new head of CIA is Gina Haspel, you know, and everybody should be celebrating it. It's like, wow, the first, you know, female head of CIA. But there's this unfortunate dark side to that, is that Gina Haspel, she had alleged, I should say, she can't go into Europe because she faces possible arrest for illegal torturing. New York Times ran a story on it back like last year in February, and it's like, yeah, she tried to destroy evidence of said acts. Like, she directly participated in the torture and also gave the go ahead to facilitate torture of various people. And it's like, wow, she's now our head of CIA. That's not scary at all. But again, most of this is allegedly, so take it with a grain of salt.
The way I was hearing it reported, that she was actually a part of a lot of the Iraqi torture and the cover-ups as well. So I was like, when they said first, they were like, oh, that sounds nice. Got our first, you know, woman CIA director. They brought the Iraqi torture, and I was like, oh, that's always something, huh? So yeah, it's going to be an interesting few years and stuff. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. I just
that's a good way of saying it.
I don't. I literally
there's no rules.
Don't know.
Like there's no like if this was Obama's administration, people would be in jail already. And it feels like the rules that have been broken are kind of just not rules anymore.
I mean, if anything, the Trump administration has shown that there are a lot of gentlemen's agreements that the Republicans have said, you know what, fuck that, take full advantage of it, that people never really knew about. And it also shows many issues with our governmental system, that this much malefice is possible within this administration. You know, you have, like, once you have one party that controls all 3 parts of the government, it comes to a grinding halt because the checks and balances no longer exist in any way. And it's like, if Trump was a competent person, he could very much basically create a dictatorship in America. But because he's dumb as fuck, that is our silver lining to all of this, is that he's too dumb to, you know, obtain the power that he speaks about so often. You know, he praises President Durant in the Philippines, or Putin and things like that, like in Kim Jong-un in North Korea, like he sees them and idolizes them, but he is nowhere near intelligent enough to capitalize on his current power that he has in order to obtain dictatorship. So it's just like, oh, thank God you are fucking remedial, because if you weren't, we'd be screwed even more as a country.
And to transition from this Trump to other topics, a source close to UCLA talked about the story about Trump and the UCLA basketball players getting in trouble for shoplifting in China that Trump took credit for.
Oh yeah,
a source close to the situation actually said the men were never on house arrest. It was their decision to be kept at the hotel until their situation was resolved. The charges were dropped; they weren't reduced, and all that happened 2 days before they heard from General Kelly. And that's they said that the players had already got their passports back and had already booked their flights back home by the time Donald Trump had stepped in. So LeVar Ball won, big ballers never lost. Even Trump can't pull one over on the triple Bs.
This world is weird. Like you could say that before, you know, some Florida man shit, you know, kind of like the idea, but just like I said earlier, reality is definitely stranger than fiction. Like I would have never thought in 2018 I'd be dealing with all of this, the Trump stuff, like the LeVar Ball stuff, and just social media, and just like all of this. I would never thought I would be like having to see this and deal with it on a daily basis. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how to take half of the information I get anymore. It's just like, all right, man. I guess that's the world as it is, or how it's always been. I just never, you know, we just got more access to everything now. So I don't know, man. It's like I don't know what's going on anymore.
I just got to take deep breaths, man.
I guess so. I'm just lost.
And then Big Sean supposedly cheated on
Janae Aiko.
Yeah. So who can you trust these days?
Supposedly.
Oh my God.
But she came out and said that the stories people are telling aren't true.
So we don't know.
But she did unfollow him on Instagram and supposedly had like a blow up with him over something.
I'm just saying, she needs to realize that she got that man tattooed on her. Like, let this be a lesson to everybody, male or female. Do not get your significant other tattooed on you in any capacity.
They're not going to listen to you, Angelus.
I know they're
do
not.
This all the time, dog.
I know.
All the time.
Honestly, I'm directing this more to women than to dudes. Like, stop getting your man tattooed on you, because that dude might step out tomorrow. He might step out the minute the ink dries and be like, yo, my bad, fam. I caught me slipping. Like, don't get their face. Don't get their name. Don't get fucking initials. Only time you should be getting a tattoo of any kind of your significant other is if that dude passed away. Cool. Get them tatted. But if they're alive and kicking, you playing a dangerous game. Because, you know, 1 month might say Joey on there, and the next month you might be dating the dude named Brian. Like, don't do it.
They're still going to do it, though.
Yeah, they are. They definitely are.
Then Janae situation is so weird too, because there's like a whole bunch of baggage with her and her last husband or whatever too. Like, and how supposedly she got in a relationship with Big Sean. So it's like you got all these like dudes coming out of nowhere talking about well, she cheated first. Like that matters. Or, you know, it's just like it's weird how we look at celebrity relationships too. Like we will jump on anything that happens to eat it up, man. Like we're so invested, like it's like a soap opera, which it pretty much is. So I don't know, man. It's like I said, everything's weird. Like I didn't even know how to take that information. Big Sean cheated. I was like, well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised when that happened. I was like, okay, like.
And then
why he got shot?
Yeah, then you can't really take Janae's post at face value either. You can't take any of this at face value, really. So it's just like, just sit there, take your information, and just be like, all right, I guess whatever happens, you know. You still got a tattoo of somebody's face on you.
Yeah, I mean, even Beyonce got fucking Jay-Z's initials erased from her finger.
That was smart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, speaking of Beyonce, the On the Run tour part 2.
Yeah. 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 I guess I'm excited for it. Honestly, I'm not. I would never go to it unless I was taking like somebody. But yeah, everybody's excited about it. A lot of Africa Twitter's pissed because it took me forever to figure out exactly what the root cause of their anger was. But apparently, the promo photo that Jay-Z and Beyonce are using, it pays homage to a Singlinese movie. It's like a classic over there. And then they found out that they're not going on tour in Africa, and which is not too shocking because they've never, like as a couple, they've never toured in Africa. I don't think Beyonce or Jay-Z's even toured their solo, honestly. And so like they're upset because it's like, yo, how are you going to take, you know, imagery and things like that from our countries, but you're not going to come visit them on your tour? And I was like, they have a point. Like, and the idea that, you know, Africa is not lucrative is kind of crazy because like Nigeria is like the second biggest economy in Africa. It's like, why would you not go there and get those coins? So like, I can understand why Africa Twitter is really not excited for this whole Beyonce Jay-Z thing.
People just aren't excited for Jay-Z. I don't know if
that
it's
too.
Like
yeah, like I've been seeing some people like, okay, can we get this without Jay-Z? And that shit
even Crystal was just like, I guess I ain't gonna turn Beyonce down, but I'll go. I was like, damn.
Because you have to figure that at least half that money is going to Jay-Z. And it's like, you're not half the reason I'm going.
Yeah.
And then 444 dropped, and, you know, people feel a way about that whole thing. So.
Yeah. And I guess a lot of people don't want to hear like Beyonce singing Lemonade and then Jay-Z coming out rapping about 440. Like, yeah, I cheated, my bad. I'm growing though. Like, like that would be a weird dichotomy. Like you have this woman who's like being very, very vulnerable about how fucked up that was and how it made her feel. And then you got Jay-Z come in rapping like, yeah, but I'm learning. Like, nigga, you're 49. Like you should have been known this. This isn't like you're 21 and you're just learning the world. Like you are a whole ass grown man.
I mean, I'm not really somebody that would go out and go see it myself. I just found the reactions to it really funny because they're like, everybody like Beyonce, Jay-Z,
and Jay-Z.
I guess I'll take it.
I always call it the Knowles tour, man. You know, the Knowles family's going on tour.
They're gonna have Blue Ivy rapping a verse.
Yeah, she's got to open up each set. Then she brings out her own special guest, Assad. Like, oh shit, it's Assad. Yeah.
Assad.
And then maybe if we're lucky, we'll get blessed with like a Northwest feature. Like, oh shit, the whole crew's here.
Like, oh damn, I thought they were beefing.
And that was the creation of the first Black dynasty in America.
SoWellspoken.com. We're on iTunes, we're on Google Play, we're on Stitcher.
Oh yeah, one last thing. We all forgot. Nobody really even talked about it, but it's kind of actually amazing. But what was it? We have our first Native American governor ever in the history of this fucking country, which to me is just crazy.
Only took a few hundred years.
Yeah, like then that's all it took, you know. Her name is Paulette Jordan. And she's like literally the first indigenous person to ever be put into government position on that level. And she is the governor of Idaho. And it's like, yo, that's on so many levels, that's like mad. It's sad as shit that it's taken that long just for that to happen. And it's like, we should have been had, like, we really should have been had like indigenous people within our government in many positions at the same level, if not at a higher concentration than African Americans. And the fact that this is the very first one is like, yo, America, it's so fucking dusty as a country. And it's not surprising though, because this country treats people of color in general like shit, but particularly like indigenous people, like First Nations, like treat them like absolute trash. Like the government encroaches on their land more and more every year, and it's just like nobody gives a shit about what's going on with them. So I think it's pretty dope that she's the first, you know, that she made it as governor of Idaho, even though Idaho is a pretty shitty state. Hopefully she can make it a better state.
All right, shout out to Paulette Jordan on this Women's History Month.
Oh yeah, International Women's Day passed as well.
Still Black History Month too.
Black History Month Part 2.
Redux, the run back.
Atlanta's going strong. Like I said, I got to go see Wrinkle in Time.
It's really dope to see like these two $100 million plus films directed by Black folks in the number 1 and number 2 position at the weekend box office takeaway. And it's just like, that's pretty dope to see.
Disney making bank off Black faces. I see y'all Disney.
Tell you, man, always bet on Black.
Anything else? So Morris can go ahead and get his outro over with because he wants to go over there and just do it so bad.
I'm just trying to watch the Laker game before it ends.
Nah, I'll save it to the next podcast.
All right, well, I'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
All right.